Hello again. In my last episode, I told you about Sybil Ludington and her legacy of bravery and fortitude. In this episode, we're going to talk about another legacy from a different Revolutionary Era individual, only this time I bet most of you have heard of him. So let's play the Guess the Historical Character game. I'll give you the clues, and then you can guess who it is. Ready? 1. He was one of the Founding Fathers. 2. He lived in Virginia and was a member of the House of Burgesses. 3. He is sometimes called the Sage of Monticello. 4. He was the principal writer of the Declaration of Independence. By now, you probably all know that I'm talking about Thomas Jefferson. He's very well known, but what was his true legacy? I asked some people what they thought of when they heard of the name Thomas Jefferson. Let's see what they have to say.
I think of Thomas Jefferson, I think of the Declaration of Independence and a plantation in Virginia.
Is president and slaves.
Founding father. Constitution.
First thing that comes to mind when thinking of Thomas Jefferson was that he wrote the Declaration of Independence.
White powdered wigs. President? Was he president? I don't even know.
When I hear the name Thomas Jefferson, I think of a picture of him.
When I think of Thomas Jefferson, first thing that comes to mind is inventor.
Thomas Jefferson must have been a extremely brilliant, smart man.
Thomas Jefferson is on money.
Jefferson, I think of the house he lived in, but I'm never sure if it's pronounced Monticello or Monticello. But if it's pronounced Monticello, then that makes me think of an orchestra, because cellos play in an orchestra. So I guess when I think of Thomas Jefferson, I think of an orchestra.
Thomas Jefferson died on July 4, 1826 at the age of 83, but his legacy would live on. He had given 40 years of his life in public service, serving as a member of the Virginia House of Burgesses, as I already mentioned, a governor of Virginia, a minister to France, the Secretary of State under President Washington, Vice President for President John Adams, and also as the third President of the United States. When Jefferson retired from public office, he still continued to give to his country by founding the University of Virginia. While Thomas Jefferson did so much for the nation, let's focus on 3 major legacies that affected the United States both then and now. The first is the Virginia Statute for Religious Freedom, which was drafted by Jefferson in 1777. Jefferson viewed the authorship of this document as the first significant achievement of his career. The statute was passed on January 16, 1786, a day that is today known as Religious Freedom Day. This document stated that man is free to believe or not believe in a God, and that man should not be forced to attend church or support it through taxes. Man should be free to worship as he pleases with no fear of discrimination. This document had important impact on religious freedom today and acted as a precursor to the First Amendment. Jefferson's second major legacy is the Declaration of Independence. Thomas Jefferson was the principal author of this important document and as a result has been called the pen of the American Revolution. Prior to the ratification of the Declaration of Independence, Continental Congress waffled about how to fight the Revolutionary War. To take the offensive would be an act of open rebellion rather than a defensive act, and Congress was not sure if it was fighting for freedom from oppression or fighting for freedom in entirety. The Declaration of Independence is a logical argument of reason that describes exactly why independence from Britain was necessary and the Patriots' right to declare. The words of the Declaration of Independence have been cited by numerous individuals and countries, including Liberia and Vietnam, as they strove for independence from tyranny. A final legacy of Thomas Jefferson that has had profound impact on the United States throughout history was his role in the beginning of political parties. After the United States won their independence from Britain, there was considerable argument over how the government should be run. The Articles of Confederation, which became the governing law of the United States, gave power to the states and kept it from the hands of a central government that might easily become a monarchy like the one they had just fought against. With mounting questions over the Article's ability to govern such a large and diverse land, however, a constitutional convention was formed to discuss the future of government in America. What resulted from the convention was a new constitution that created a strong central government. Not everyone was supportive of the formation of a strong central government and fought to keep power in the hands of the states. Jefferson led the Anti-Federalists in their fight against the Constitution and a strong central government. This division between the Anti-Federalists and the Federalists soon developed into 2 political parties, the Federalists under John Adams and Alexander Hamilton, and the Democratic Republicans led by Thomas Jefferson and James Madison. The election of 1796 was the first election between two political parties. The Democratic Republicans would become the Jeffersonian Republicans, and the party system would become a common feature in American political life even today. Thomas Jefferson was a man that accomplished many things in his 83 years. His actions helped to create and shape the United States that exists today. They established an idea of American freedom both politically and socially that has been embraced so much that it has become a part of the American DNA. Today, when you assert your freedom to make your own choices and form your own beliefs, remember to thank Thomas Jefferson for his role in establishing those freedoms.
Okay. Who is Thomas Jefferson?
I don't know.
Take a guess.
Jefferson.
What about him?
He's a doctor.
He's a doctor?